Hey YouTube, so today I'm doing the landing page feedback for blkbx.app, which I believe reads blackbox.app. It's been submitted by Nick Horn, and he says he just wants to have some feedback about the landing page and advice for growing interest in a product that doesn't exist yet is greatly appreciated. So, all right, let's definitely jump into it and see what's it all about. Okay, so white and black are, and this kind of like bluish, dark, tending to gray color are the main colors of the landing page, of the home page. And it looks like it's an app. Obviously, also from the domain name, I guess you could guess that. All right, let's have a look. So there's no navigation up on the top right hand side of the page. So I assume this is obviously just a one pager pre-launch kind of thing. Very interesting that you have three headers. You have, pre-header, an H1, and what I assume it's an H2. So you have something like that. And this is not very common in the world of apps. Usually you'll have like a big message that you want to convey to your audience, and then a lot of screenshots and features about the app that are basically talking to the value proposition of the app, right? So let's have a look. Get financial news straight to your inbox with the BLKBX newsletter. Learn more. So this is pretty much a link to a newsletter aggregator thingy, Substack, right? The one where you can subscribe and get insights into anything people write about. The reason why I wouldn't have this up here, it doesn't really deliver any value at this point. When I land on your page, I want to know a little bit about your app, right? This is the intent. I want to know what is your app about and why should I care. So the next thing that you tell me is set and forget investing. So this is the value proposition. Is like you have an app where you hypothetically set some settings and then you forget about it, and the app will handle everything for you, like sort of like automated, etc., etc. And then in your subheader H2 you say BLKBX, so the app name cuts out the day-to-day emotion and helps you invest for the long term. Okay, so this is a good value proposition. It's basically trying to cater to the audience where someone might not be too interested into dealing with the day-to-day trading, but they definitely want to make money. So you set and forget, and then you don't think about the day-to-day. Oh, I should buy this because my brother-in-law told me about this. And then you have a big learn more button. So this automatically tells me that your app is not ready for launch. It's probably like some kind of form, right? Okay, no, it's like an email. Okay, so this is definitely not the best way to gather interest for people in your app. And I'll explain to you why in a second, but let's scroll down the page. You basically show me here, there's like some screens rotating of your app, which seems very interesting because it doesn't really show much of the app. It shows what do you want to buy into, how much do you want to spend, and kind of like the basics of the interface. But how does this screenshot, how does it reinforce the fact that where you set and forget? Like how do you inspire confidence that you're gonna take care of me? Oh right. So then you ask for someone's email, pretty bold. You ask it right about here. I mean, you haven't spoken about the features of the app. Then you claim that this app is designed for everyone. And then there's some text. Whether you're new to investing, seasonal pro, or in between, you have a passive portfolio, right? This is a keyword. Passive portfolio is something that's really important because I guess that's the terminology that you would that you would use when talking to people about this set and forget kind of mindset. Let's have a look. Fractional shares, learn, customize. Okay, so fractional shares, this hints to the idea that you have a feature where you can just buy a little bit instead of a whole lot of shares from a company. Learn, somehow you tell me about this learn thing at the top here, right? Day-to-day emotion helps you invest for the long term, and then you get financial news straight to your inbox. So how can you show me? That's what I would ask, is instead of having an icon here with just, like something like a university hat, college hat, could you share some screenshot of your app that shows how the learning part of the app will be handled? And then finally, customize your experience to find a strategy that works for you. Okay, so here again, I don't really know what this means. Customize your experience, like, can you show me an example of what you mean? It's not very, am I going to customize, like the way I invest? I mean, I don't know. It's not really talking to me. And I've used Robinhood and these other apps, right? So I know a little bit about it. So again, coming soon, be the first one to know. You're asking for the email address yet again, and yet you're not giving anything away. There's no lead magnet. There's nothing like a free ebook on how to invest, a 12-week course on learning the basics of investment to get started with your app, nothing like that. Timing over timing. So here kind of goes a little bit too deep into kind of like some financial stuff, right? It's been proven. Okay, so basically you're trying to appeal to the emotions, where people who buy these apps, sometimes they just end up spending too much money on them. So you can definitely use this to your advantage. And then there's a huge quote of Warren Buffett. I hope most people know who Warren Buffett is, but if not, why don't you put a little image of his face, because Warren Buffett's face is very unique and it's always on the news, right? So it's easy to remind people who we're talking about. And then these two graphs here, timing versus time in. There's I guess you could understand what you're trying to say. It's that the stock market, if you try to time it, you'll never hit it because it's so variable. But if you time in, somehow you will see that your assets will grow in value. And again, you shouldn't have people have to like guess your charts. I would always have the charts extremely well defined with captions, before and after. This is what happens with my app. You give some data points, you show, using your method, you can make a return of 20%, or instead of doing this, you do that. I don't know, you can come up with some graphs. Then you ask to subscribe. So there's a typo here. I think you're missing an S. But what happens if you click it? Oh, it takes you back up, and you're not giving me anything yet. I haven't received a freebie, like a lead magnet. There's not enough intent for me having to subscribe. There's literally a million apps out there. How does your app differentiate itself from the rest of the apps? What is your USP? What is your unique selling point? And especially if you have a unique selling point, why don't you explain it a little bit more, right? It seems to be that your unique selling point is that you're trying to focus on this thing with the emotion, with the, don't spend your time, your precious time, spending time browsing through stocks. And I think instead of like bringing this feature, talking about this here, I think it should be the main opener, because that's kind of your unique selling point. Like the value proposition of your app is exactly that. It's how can I save time? How can I save money? And how can I not worry about my stock portfolio with this app that supposedly does everything by itself? There's another call to action that's again pretty weak. Investor first features. And now suddenly, after you've talked about some features here, right, which are basically the ability to invest in fractional shares, the ability to learn and to customize, you hit me again with some more features down here. No commissions, protect and insure the right price. All this seems to be dead links. They're all like just landing page. I guess you haven't finished your page, but I hope this is enough feedback on your landing page. What I would do, just to recap, just focus on your unique selling point. Have all the features grouped up together to talk about how your vision for the app and your unique selling points will basically cater to that value proposition, right? And then if you have anyone who's driven your app or tested your app, you should get some of their testimonial. One more thing I want to show you is take a look at Robinhood. They show a lot of like screenshots of their app, which you only have one or two. Like you have a little video here, doesn't really show much, and then another one here. One better example could be Revolut, right? There's a video here, beautiful video that shows an overview of the app. There's more screenshots here that are animated, more screenshots, features, and all of these features, if you read them, it's like talking directly to the value propositions. So open a multi-currency account in minutes. Like, think about the problem here was that nobody could open an account in minutes. On top of that, it's multi-currency. So if you think in the same way, what would be a a value prop that could be used for your app? And that's for you to think, because you are the founder, and I think of this app, and you probably know better. Anyways, I think this has helped you understand a little bit more about how I would rearrange things in your landing page. I like the colors, although usually I like cheerful colors. This seems very much like almost like the old Uber app, very like luxurious, not very friendly to maybe a more young audience. I don't know, but just my 2 cents on the colors. And if you think this video helped, just consider subscribing. It really helps. I'm trying to get to 100 subs. Thank you.